Alrighty then. Good evening and welcome to Monos featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Now listen, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry. But I was busy. Trying to put all these wires back together again to get my studio up and stopping. Anyway, let me do my own audio check. I forgot. All right. I don't even know how that sounds. What's up, LA? What's up? What's up? Okay. If y'all don't know, I'm on vacay time. So I came. Okay. So I came and I've been doing a zillion things that I haven't done in forever. And one of them has been to put back Mo Studio. So I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. Um, One of the hardest things is trying to set the space up so that I'm not infringing on other people. But I appreciate y'all still sticking with me. We're gonna stay blurred out today because I have a whole mess around me. I got and I just spent about an hour trying to get the Wi-Fi, trying to get back on my system. A, B, trying to connect wires back. I had the wires all together. It just was a whole heck of a mess. Welcome to Mono. She's back into the groove of things. So we're gonna take a road trip. I'm trying to decide if I'm taking my laptop with me or if I'm gonna wing it. Hey cousin. So today I just wanted to pop out here for a second or two and just reflect on some things that been going on. And I really do have to get this straightened up because tomorrow I plan on I plan on participating on a live stream that's I just plan on doing some things that are live in other spaces, and I gotta make sure this look good. I was wondering though, you can't really see it, but I put these this book system in behind me, but this is what I use for my Mary Kay for the Mary Kay business. So, uh, I was just thinking how I'm gonna. So I think behind me in this spot is going to be Mary Kay. And then over in my reading nook, so this is my what do you call this thing? This is my studio, which is inside of another space that I'm using for storage. So I'm in a storage spot, but this is my studio part of it. And then over in my reading nook, because I made myself a reading nook, over in my reading nook is where I will go live with my laptop. What's up, JJ? I will go live. I'm glad y'all here because I do have something to speak to y'all on, and I think it is of interest to y'all. And what's up, 23? I don't think 23 is here yet. I think she was here before I got in the groove of things. Um, how does the sound? But I'm gonna come live from my laptop over in my reading nook. But the reading nook is gonna seem familiar to you guys because it's gonna look like when I was in the Harlem apartment during COVID. So I kind of staged that like that. But because I was over here putting this together, I put stuff all away. I didn't do it, sis. I haven't been live. You did do it. You did do it. You did do it. But let me take a few minutes to do that. So uh, it's my vacation season. I'm so happy about vacation season. Okay, I just need to start. Okay, but after tomorrow, I'm on the road again, making music with my good old friends. All right, let me see what else. What else? What else? What else? What else? All right, today's message. I went to Proverbs. I was trying to find a way to express how I was feeling. And if you don't know, I'll just give y'all some intel. Recently I went live and I was let me start with my recently I saw a live that was put on by Eric Brown. So I came out here and seeing that he was getting what I would consider beat up by the streets and feeling the way I feel towards him, I came out here and I did what I would call a story time. And I just basically spoke on what I saw without mentioning anybody's name, to some limited degree. But I shared my honest feelings as it related to what I saw. And what I always see is people trying to manipulate the message. People trying to take over other people's spaces, right? And I spoke out against that because when the outcome didn't, when people couldn't manipulate him to execute their plan, they became angry with him. But this is a cycle, right? One minute they'll say, oh, I don't want to mess around with EB because he's a silencer, but he's secretly talking crap on people and etc. etc. And I just be like, are y'all serious? Is this for real? For real? So it's annoying. So I spoke out the best way that I could speak out. I was present at that day on that day. And when I went into his room, and it's not a room, and I don't have nothing against Eric Brown, right? EB is one of my closest YouTube buddies up here, right? Coming in from day zero. We're not talking about day one people. We're talking about day zero, right? Um, so when I decided to do that and speak up and speak out the way that I speak out, someone by the name of Bam came in my chat and was upset. And I said to later down the stream, I said to Karen and Joy when they joined the platform, I said, I probably said something about her because on the day of Eric Brown's filming, right, his live stream, when I was in the room, she was attacking me in his space. And I was ignoring her as usual. But no one should go into somebody's space and be attacked. And then she had the audacity to go back on his platform a couple of days later and be like, hey, I was being attacked by people in your room and they blocked me and all this other stuff. I didn't do nothing. I'm going to need y'all to stop pampering her like she's some little pestilent child. She bothers people. She does things to people. It's not acceptable. When are y'all going to tell her this and show her that? Okay, she was angry with me at that time because I just told somebody they had 15 minutes. She was in there throwing, I'm going to call them slurs at me. Every time I choose to like children, it never seems to really pierce the wall to make someone stop. It's never loud enough. You're never shouting loud enough at this person to be like, please stop behaving inappropriately because you are an adult. Start adulting. Start acting like you are a grown up. Be mature about things when you're in environments that you need to be mature. Have some self-respect. Act like a lady. Anyway, so I did my live. I said what I had to say. When she came in the live, wrote some crap inside the room, left, went live on her platform to throw this temper tantrum again. And when she threw the temper tantrum, she was like, hey, are you blocked in your other account? So when she threw the temper tantrum, I was like, that's all I said. I said, well, that's not all I said. I originally came in there and I said, I'm like, Mo. You know how I do. I said, I'm here for JJ. I'm here for the interview. And then some people said hello to me. So then I said hello back, salutations, right? That's when I'm in my good moods. I wrote back up in there, and that was the end of it, right? Until I said 15 minutes, and it was like, yo, snow this and snow that. And I keep telling people that I come from South Side, and there's some things we don't rock, and snow is not one of them. So personally, when I see people continuing to do snow things at me, I think it's a utter disrespect. And that's all I'm going to say as best I can say it. And that was it. Well, they don't like the fact that I was being a woman. See, the bottom line is how you conduct yourself. It's not how the other person conducts their self. It's always going to be how you conduct yourself, and going to pay attention to the other person's inappropriate behavior. They're going to be so focused on your inappropriate behavior. They don't have time to cash in on the other person's inappropriate behavior. Anywho, I fast forward. While I was on a live, some trolls came in here and made it knowledge, brought it to our knowledge that Bam went live. And the reason why I'm specifically saying her name right now is because she lies about the damage she does to other people. So she went live. Then I went off over here, and I just traced it back to more current things, how I met her. Hey, Cynthia. How I met her, became acquainted with her on my platform. And when she left or departed somewhere else, and how I applauded her departure. Not like get out, don't come back, or any of those things. More or less like, hey, for whatever reason, I wasn't against her departure, I didn't want to bring her back. I saw the different things that occurred or whatever. And then that's the end of it, right? That's the story of a lifetime. I told people, she came in here one time, was like, "Hey, Monica, can I use your video about this and that?" And I was like, "Sure." And I got some flack for that. People were like, "Why you letting her use your video?" I done told her no, because she just going to talk about you. I got on the panel over there with the lady, we call her Trademark B. I got over there with the Trademark B. I don't even remember the girl's real name. Oh, some with Nicole in it. You know, but she copied the trademark off of Karen. Karen went in there and was like, "Hey, how'd you get your trademark?" And then the girl was like, "What is businesses of yours?" Da, 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 da. Start a whole big thing because, you know, Karen wanted to know how she got that trademark at the end of her name and she didn't have it the day before or whatever, whatever, right? And Bam was over there and she was like, "Hey, Monica, we cool." And I was like, "No, baby, we can't be cool. Because let's just keep it 100. Because if we fail to keep it 100, what's going to happen is I'm going to have a false sense of, oh, all right, we're doing good. And then only to find out that when I look around, you're going to be mad and talking crap about me." So to eliminate that issue, I told her keep it 100. I didn't even get off the platform that day before it might have only been about 8 minutes later. I kid you not, when she flipped the whole script and just went hamburger. "You know, I'm not gonna let you do this. You know you was this, you that." Now that I look back at it, I look at people and their outside influences, and I'm thinking that, hey, maybe when she was doing all of that lovey-dovey stuff, it didn't fly right. She had messengers that was stopping her in her tracks. Today I want to discuss the messengers and the message that you send along those ways. And what happens when you no longer trust your messenger? What then becomes of it? Now listen. There I Monica Mo Justice, it was brought to my attention. Let me do this. um okay, it was brought to my attention that someone made a poll, and the poll was like, oh, I just put one in there. But someone was mad at me. And I was like, why would somebody be mad at me? What did I say? Who is that person, right? So I spent my sat her day going from video to video to video to listen to what folks had to say or not say about me in a situation that had nothing to do with nothing. For something that is don't make It don't have no rhyme or reason. So then I went to my wall and I invited somebody out to have a conversation because the woman that I am, I just feel like when something ain't got nothing, and I'm trying to be just as ghetto as heck, when something ain't got nothing to do with somebody else, the best thing you could do is try to quash the issue as quickly as possible. One right there because I'm just gonna leave that right there. I didn't get any response, so I'm gonna take it from the silence because silence is golden. Silence to me means there ain't no issue, which there shouldn't be. To the event, to the extent no one wants to have a discussion about it. And I'm good with that because I feel like when you circumvent the process and put yourself in the middle of something that is not tangible, the results are bad for everyone. I've been here 7 years. I said 2 years ago I had no intention on inheriting no new beefs. Period. I don't feel like arguing with folks in this audience about stuff that is superficial. I don't feel like arguing. You can't, you would be arguing with them. You can't have a substance conversation with folks here because they take things personal. They anything the moment they can't formulate a true position on a topic, they get in their feelings and they begin to take things personal. Every step of the way. I can be a girl's bestie, just a bestie. What do besties do? They advise their friends. Yo, boom. There's a girl code out here. Oh, Jesus. They advise their friends. And sometimes people don't like the fact that you may have been brutally honest with your friend and told them the truth. Because around here, people can't stand hearing the truth about themselves. The moment you give somebody the truth about them, they want to throw that up in your face, throw back something at you, or take it personal and then get all emotional instead of taking a step back and saying, wait a minute, is that constructive criticism? Is that something that I later to benefit me for something greater? Mm-mm. That's not what they say. They push back in the most negative way. They push back in the most negative way, and then nothing gets resolved because it becomes an argument or a conflict that you can't um de-escalate. It gets all the way juicy. It gets all the way juicy. It'd be unfortunate too. One of my key words, because I just be sitting there like you can't be honest. Moment you be honest, and you know what else be crazy to me? Just crazy to me. I'm always looking for that constructive criticism. Let's bow our heads in prayer for a moment. I'm looking for the traveling words. Good evening, sir. The fuck? That's what I'm gonna tell you. That's what I was going to look for. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to look at that. All right. I just had to think about something for a minute. It's just much of the same around here. It's just much of the same. You would think that you would come back and things would be a little bit quieter. But it's never not. Um, the devil is always busy. Let me go to my little good book. The translation for the item that I put up there today: the one who sends a message by a fool's hand cuts off his own feet and drinks violence. Now, somebody asked me, did that have anything to do with like being an alcoholic or whatever, whatever? And I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with that. At least I didn't think so. Um, I was I left off the drink violence part because you know how YouTube gets with certain words. But I thought it was a good scripture because it's a scripture that talks about and just so you know, it's Proverbs 26:6. It it speaks to trust. And when you put your trust in a fool as a messenger, which means that you're giving your business to, at least I take it as you giving your business to somebody else. It's as, it's equivalent to just self destruction. It's just It's equivalent to self-destruction, or I think a good way to say self-mutilation, or basically it's defined in that study in the study Bible as or taking poison. You just can't you basically just killing yourself by sending somebody else to do your work, to do your bidding. So when I hear people say, somebody sent me your material to review and discuss and whatever, I'm just like, why would you put yourself in a position to be that person's messenger for something that has nothing to do with you? Something that, why? So sometimes I think you would have to ask people to get into their mindset to get a better understanding for yourself as to why people engage the way they engage. I never understand it. But I went through video after video, and I think initially I listened for the issue, and then I went back and I listened for the substance. And I came back with it's a nothing burger. Now, I had to listen to and I had to endure that. If you put yourself in certain situations, you're growing channels that are smaller than you. No. What is happening here is that this is a quasi beef sector that just wants to engage in arguments. The turmoil or the confusion for many is welcomed because they need that type of energy to fulfill their day. I'm too tired to go through that. I'm just too tired. I went back and I listened to the video that I mentioned in that live. Broke my heel and rest up on a, I don't know, I guess on a bench while my heel was getting repaired at the shoe shop. And I heard, and I went and I listened to somebody's video. And the minute I checked in, and I wasn't planning to be there. I wasn't planning to be there that long when I checked in, because normally whomever they're speaking on, I'm not familiar with them. And I darn sure am not taking on any more cray-crays to go over there to find out why they crazy and why this person is speaking on them. I pass. If they say the person is, a piece of work, I'm going to take their word for it. I don't want to have too much of an issue there. So I went in to really get the better context of why my name was mentioned. Because I'm going to tell you, when I heard my name initially, the first time, I just was like, I don't even know what was being said. I just heard my name. I said, ugh, I can't go nowhere. If I didn't know any better, I would have said that there's a spirit around that once I enter into the thing, it just said, hey, guess who's in there? There's somebody in there. Monica's in there. You better say something about her, so she know that you know she's there. I was like, I need to get out of here. I remember years ago when we used to be on the line, they used to be like, you can see who's in the chat. All you got to do is hit this button up there, and then it'll say participants, and then it'll tell you all the people that are in there. And I was like, yo, this is just too much for me. Anyway, Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So I let it go. But I listened and I heard and I kind of still feel the same way because I just feel like and I honestly feel like the person knows that too. Like we know what we dealing with. And then I took the ultimate trip. And I went to go listen to this dude that I don't listen to. And Lord, I need a drink. It's just like it's just some people's voice is just too much. They just it's just too much. But I heard some things there. So I did check for my name, and my name was there 11 times or 12 times. So let's just say my name was there about a dozen times. But when I listened to how I was referenced, in some instances, my name was there because some person is recalling a situation, right? So they'll say, I can't be angry because somebody's gonna say, back in the days when I had this confrontation with Monica, even though I'm gonna have my story about that until I die, I can't be angry at that reference. That's a fact. That's a situation that occurred. Now it may not have occurred the way that a person tells it, but it still is something that had happened. I can't I can't make a person not speak what they believe to be their truth. I can't do it and none of you can do it. So I don't know. I can't understand how people can't distinguish when someone is telling a story and they're telling a story and they're telling a story that involves you because you were there. So I don't have my notes right now. That's another thing. That note taking is the note taking thing is a great exercise. Let me tell you about a few exercises around here that are great exercises. Sometimes, if you write something out, it'll it helps memory, and we all know where I've been, why I need to do that. But it's your way to get out the issue. Sometimes I write some things and then I don't have to really I don't have to approach a person on it because I wrote it and I got it out off my chest. And I think when YouTube created that community wall, it gave a lot of people an opportunity to get things off their chests instead of going live and using a stream to do it. They figured, hey, all these people want to do is talk to one another. Let them go over there and write it on the wall. Maybe they won't strike up a live and we'll be doing better for it. Good evening. So, I listened and I was like, oh, I can't take it. The things that I was hearing and I was how I saw myself in the person's story. But as you know, I always say If you don't like the way your character is depicted in another person's story, you need to change how your character acts. And then maybe that person will change how they tell that story with your character in it. In this particular case, I'm not going to change how my character acts because I believe in what I said, what I did, and how I felt. Some people on this platform are bullies, and they feel that if they intimidate you, you're going to go away, or you're going to continue to argue with them on a point that's going nowhere. I can't see myself doing that. So I listened to the what did I say, it was 11 or 12 times that I was mentioned, and I really, there was a point where I was mentioned, and it was it was simply that somebody else had gave him advice, and the advice the person had gave him was, don't do this. I've been doing this for 4 years at the time. Now we're 7 years out, but 4 years. You'll wake up one day and you'll just find yourself stuck in the same spot. That's crazy to hear a person run since then. So that was just crazy. Um so I listened, and each of the times it really related to just going back and saying, "Hey, this happened then, and this is a time when Monica was there, or this was a time when Monica was there." Listen, the channel was built on Monica, so you're going to hear it all the time. We can't be angry about it. It's sad, but we can't be angry about it. It is what it is. Watch out for the messengers. So I looked into it. I don't really see it to be anything. I don't really see it to be anything. I listened to the other gentleman that came on there and spoke, and I was very I was very disturbed. Um, but it was nothing new. It's nothing new. You gotta break the cycles. That's basically, you have to break the cycles. So I listened. I achieved. Um, my greatest takeaway from there is that emotionally I'm in a better place, and that's my greatest takeaway, is that emotionally I'm in a better place, and I can handle it a little differently. And for all of that, I'm proud of myself. And that's it. Um, Even though I'll still leave the opportunity open to have a conversation. Um, but not with that person, with the person from the community wall. Otherwise, everything else, I'm good. I'm good. I will be on vacation this week. This is like the millionth time I'm saying it. I'm gonna go back on a plane. So just give me tra- traveling grace, and then I'll see where I go. I'll see where I go from there, and what I'm gonna do coming back. I shall be taking notes on my trip. Oh yeah, I meant to say this right. Not I got 7 years of YouTube documented, right? And oftentimes I go back to those pages, and I I I just remember the momentum at the time, especially the 2020 series, because in 2020, right, we entered 2020 like 2020, we entered that season writing in journals collectively, right? And it's such I listened to that video and I heard what I heard, and I was kind of proud of my cousin because she was like, "Hey, I'm writing everything down because I want to track what I say. I want to evidence where I've been. I would like to be able to show what it is that I was involved in." It gives you a place to go back and reflect. If you are accurately recording and documenting what you've engaged in, what your live stream was about, giving yourself a summary of what you discussed, especially at that time we was trapped inside our houses. So we were writing because we were expressing ourselves, right? We were growing our channels. We were taking on discussions with each other about what we was going to do to get to 1,000, right? We was just like, how are we going to get to 1,000, right? Then I mapped out this marvelous plan, and even when my cousin was like, I know what you're doing. I have an idea of what you're doing. I know what I was doing. She knew what I was doing. But to hear it be told to hear it be told like, yo, y'all over there taking notes so that you could just yeah, I never heard anything like that in my whole life. I just was like, wow. it, I'm sorry. It's just a wow moment for me, because how will you know if you've grown if you don't have a way to measure that? How will you know? Like, people be like, how do you know the date and time something happened and this and that, right? And they be like, because I wrote it down. I wrote it down, and that's how I remember what things happen. Like, um, people that document their experience probably are the people that are better for it. The documentation. When I say document, they're writing things down. Um, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it just I just started to think about how different we are. And because we are different, people don't appreciate the other person's difference. There's a little bit of inability to tolerate the next person just because they're different. I don't belong to a cult. I'm a thinking individual. So, with that, I don't plan to have a leader. I'm not going to be in my 30s, 40s, and 50s in a social environment looking for a leader. Every time I think of that looking for a leader construct, I go back to the movie Toy Story and think of the little figurines or little plastic things that are inside that machine waiting for the big arm to come down and grab it up, and they're like, ah, that's what I see around here. People, and I'm not going to use pick it up and put people down scenario, because it's not the same. It's people are looking for people to lead them. Where I come from, we are our own leaders. And I just cannot believe that I've spent time invested in folks that still believe that they have to be in a follower's mentality when we were born to lead. It's your platform. If you want to spend your time arguing with folks, I guess that's what you'll do. If you want to spend your time negatively impacting people and trying to figure out who people are and how much money they make and all of those type of things, where they come from, what they do for a living. I go other places, I have conversations with folks, I don't know too much about them. I go other places and I speak to people on topics that are mutual concern, and we are able to have an intelligent dialogue. If I never speak to that person again, I walk away from that conversation engaged, enlightened, and maybe, just maybe, able to look at things from another perspective. You know what I don't have? I don't have an argument because the opinions are different that I walk away angered until I come over here. I'll be like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But tomorrow it's going to be a long day. I get to watch, or I get to see whatever's going to happen in the YSL case and how that's going to turn out. If the jurors are going to do juror nullification. I don't think it's juror nullification, just because they can't live with they can't unhear a testimony. But I'll wait and see what that is. I'll be finishing up. I'm gonna take myself a nap and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna finish up my studio so I could debut it before I go on vacay. And I'm still deciding if I'm gonna take my laptop with me. I don't want to go through the whole security thing with a laptop. But if I'm gonna take my laptop with me, and I got in the next week, I got 4 flights ahead of me. And that's it. Questions, comments, concerns from the chat. Seeing none, I'm going to bed. I will see you, good peoples. Maybe. Oh no, not that day. Someday this week. Yeah, someday this week. Anyway, today's broadcast was brought to you by the M and the O. Mo Mo Mo.